it's clear that we experience a southern-facing room which is filled with the sunlight most of the day, very different from a northern-facing room where the sun never shines. This is true if we live in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. Most of us above or below the equator would agree that an east-facing room charged with the energy of the rising sun has a very different vibe from a west-facing room where the setting sun signals it's time to wind down. I'm Natalia Kaylin, I'm a Feng Shui designer, and in this video I want to explain the Bagua, which is the most used principle in Feng Shui. And because my viewers ask so many times how the Bagua works in the Southern Hemisphere, I am going to explain both the Northern and Southern Hemispheres Bagua. Toward the end, I will show how to apply the Bagua onto the floor plan. We'll get to the Bagua in a moment, but first, what is Feng Shui? Feng Shui is about balancing and harnessing the qi or energy of our environment to bring harmony and enhance various aspects of our lives. Now, what is qi? Simply put, it's the vitality or life force found in the land and buildings, an energy that supports life and influences various parts of it. Some of the most important areas it can affect are health, well-being, career, prosperity, relationships, and family harmony. The Bagua is the link between the energy in our surroundings and these key areas of life. In Chinese, Ba means 8, and Gua means sector or symbol. These 8 symbols, called trigrams, are made up of different combinations of solid yang and broken yin lines. Let's look at this diagram. It's like a binary code representing the fundamental principles of reality. The solid line is the most yang and the broken line is the most yin. Together, these lines form 4 basic symbols. And if we go further, they create the 8 trigrams. On the left side, we see the most yang or masculine combination, and on the right, the most yin or feminine, with all other possibilities in between. Each trigram corresponds to something in nature, like seasons, planets, human body parts, family members, time of the day, and more. But in Feng Shui, the most important thing about the trigrams is their correspondence to the 8 compass directions and 8 aspects of our lives. Therefore, here comes the Bagua with the trigrams arranged in the circle around the yin-yang symbol. Traditionally, the Bagua is drawn with the south on top, south representing the radiance of the sun, the fire element. That's in the Northern Hemisphere. And the north on top in the Southern Hemisphere, representing the radiance of the sun and fire element. In Feng Shui, the Bagua is like an energy map of a dwelling, whether it's a house or a commercial building. It shows the energy patterns and movement of the sun throughout the building. In the Northern Hemisphere, the sun, major wind and water patterns like ocean currents are moving clockwise. As in the Southern Hemisphere, the sun, the major wind and water patterns are moving counterclockwise. It has to do with the rotation of the Earth. This is the reason you cannot use the same Bagua in the Southern Hemisphere. You have to follow the energy movement. The Bagua shows the correspondence between compass directions and various aspects of our life. The Bagua relates to specific personal factors such as career, knowledge, health and family harmony, wealth, fame, personal relationships, children, and helpful people. These aspects have different quality of energy in them, and their energy matches the energy of the compass directions. How beautiful and how cool is that? Depending on what aspect needs to be enhanced, a corresponding compass sector of a home or business can be targeted and energized. Let's go over these 8 directions and 8 aspects of our life. Sometimes they are called 8 aspirations. Let's start with the East in the Northern Hemisphere. sun rises in the east, so the energy is rising. The trigram is thunder, also known as arousing, representing fast rising energy. That's why the element of the east is wood. It's actually a big wood, a tree. And the colors of the east are dark green and also blue because water supports wood. The aspirations are growth, family, and health. If you have a startup company, for example, you want to make sure the east sector has a good energy because east represents growth of the company. This sector of the Bagua also represents spring, early morning, and the oldest sun. If you are having health problems, your family harmony needs improvement, or your firstborn son is having some troubles, you want to make sure energy is flowing well in the east. There is no clutter or broken furniture. To strengthen the energy of the east, you may introduce a taller plant there, or green color, or some images of water. By the way, there is another video that goes very well with this one. 5 elements in Feng Shui design. You can see many examples of how to implement these elements and colors in home design. I will link it in the description for you. East will be just the same in the Southern Hemisphere. Now back to the Northern Hemisphere Bagua. The trigram of the southeast is wind, a gentle rising energy. The sun is still rising in the southeast, therefore energy is rising too. We want our wealth to grow steadily, which is why this trigram is associated with prosperity and wealth. Other aspects of the wind trigram are late spring, early summer, and late morning. The family member is the oldest daughter. The element of the wind trigram is gentle wood. It's a smaller wood. It's like a medium size of house plant. Wood doesn't grow without water. We love to have water element in the southeast. The corresponding colors are blue, green, and turquoise. There is another helpful video about how to decorate with plants plus Feng Shui plant tips, where I give quite a few examples of plants that are good for boosting prosperity aspects in the southeast. Now, everything that I said about the energy of prosperity in the southeast will apply to the southern hemisphere, but this sector of the rising energy and prosperity is the northeast here. Then the sun goes to the north here, and it's the peak of the day and heat, and the energy is on its highest. This is why the north relates to fame and reputation in the southern hemisphere. The element is fire and the color is red. It is the sector of the middle daughter, summer, and midday. It also relates to beauty, brightness, and joy. In the northern hemisphere, it is the south that relates to fame, and everything that I just said about the north in the southern hemisphere applies to the south here in this chart for the northern hemisphere. I hope you're starting to see that the Bagua is a very beautiful thing. It represents the patterns and the movement of nature forces, which are the sun, the wind, and the water through our environment. It's a real thing. It's not an idea from the mind. It's not a religion or superstition. I hope you are starting to appreciate it. Here is so much more I wish to say about it, and if you want to know more, you probably would benefit from taking some courses or reading books. In fact, there is more about it in my book, The Soulful Home Design Guide. But this is enough here to be able to use it and get some good results. Let's move to the southwest. It's a female sector. 3 broken lines indicate extreme yin, receptivity, nurturing, devotion, feminine energy. The southwest relates to the mother of the family and relationships. The energy is gentle but strong. The receptivity is strength, right? The earth element rules this sector and the color is yellow or terracotta. Supportive element is fire, so red, orange, and pink are also great in the southwest. I will continue for now with the northern hemisphere and then we will look at the southern. West is an aspect of lake trigram and it is also called the joyous. It has one broken line on top of two solid lines and has connotations of joy, pleasure, and all good things in life. It is in the evening when the sun is in the west, and we enjoy spending time with family, eating good food together, and playing with our children. This is why the west relates to children and creativity. Additionally, the youngest daughter, the joy of the family, is represented by this trigram. The element of the west is metal. The colors are white, silver, and gold. Metal is created by earth, therefore the earthy colors, yellow and tan, are appropriate here too. Northwest is an aspect of the heaven trigram. It consists of three solid lines and is pure young energy. It represents helpful people and the father, the breadwinner, or the head of the family. This can be a woman too, of course. The element of the Northwest is metal. All the metal and earth colors are appropriate in this area, but the energy of the Northwest is very different from the playful and joyful West. It's a more serious area that relates to your spirituality, ancestors, mentors, or everyone from whom you receive blessings and guidance. North is an aspect of the water trigram. It is called the depth. It represents our path in life, our potential, and the career aspect. The season associated with this trigram is winter, and the time of the day is night. The family member is the middle sun. The element of the north is water. Water is supported by metal, therefore colors that resonate with north are black, blue, white, gray, and silver. Northeast is an aspect of the mountain trigram. It is called the stable or still and represents knowledge, self-development, and meditation. The season of the Northeast is late winter and early spring. The time of the day is late night and early morning. The family member is the youngest son. The element of the Northeast is earth, and the corresponding colors are yellow or tan. The nature of the Northeast is such that besides all the earth colors, greens and blues are appropriate here too. Let's go back to the Southern Hemisphere now. We already looked at the east, northeast, and north, where the sun is in its peak. From here, the sun goes down, and the northwest is the sector of the female, nurturing mother, and relationships. If you feel you want to energize this aspect of your life, you work in the northwest part of your home. The energy of the west in the southern hemisphere is the same as the energy of the west in the northern hemisphere. It's children, creativity, and the youngest daughter sector. The energy of the southwest here relates to the Haven trigram, which is the father of the family, breadwinner, mentors, and spiritual teachers. It's equivalent to the northwest sector in the northern hemisphere. The south is an aspect of water trigram. It's our path in life, our career, and our potential. If we want a career change or career boost, we need to work with the energy of the room that is located in the south if we are in the southern hemisphere, and the northern room if we are above the equator. The southeast below the equator represents knowledge, meditation, and self-development, the same energy as the northeast in the northern hemisphere. Center in both hemispheres represents the health and well-being of the household. It is presented on the Bagua diagram by the yin-yang symbol, which describes wholeness and totality of energy. Now I want to show you a few examples of how I apply the Bagua to the floor plan. It's like superimposing a compass on the floor plan. You can either do a compass measurement or use the app or Google Maps and create a Bagua on the floor plan. Note that Feng Shui uses magnetic compass reading, not a true north. If you use an app on your phone, you need to switch it to magnetic mode. The red line on this floor plan is the house's facing direction. It is the line that is perpendicular to the front of the house. On this floor plan, the facing direction is west, the sitting direction is east. the front door is in the northwest. By the way, the center is never a dot, but a circle or oval depending on the shape of the floor plan. We can see that the southwest here has a missing corner, and it is part of the kitchen where the sink is located. So there is some drainage of the energy here. So I would be a bit concerned about the woman, the mother of the family health, and the relationship aspect in this house. I would recommend strengthening the earth element in this kitchen and probably outside as well. If we look at the southeast sector, we can see it is a big area in this house, which is very good. It is part of the dining room, living room, restroom, and a sunroom. The laundry and restroom area are draining the energy of prosperity here, but the sunroom is an addition that is bumped out, which is boosting and strengthening the energy of the southeast, compensating for the laundry and restroom. I'm just showing you a little bit how the Bagua map can be used. Sometimes practitioners use 9 squares instead of 8 radial segments, and it is totally fine. I adopted a radial map that resembles a compass. It feels more natural because energy doesn't travel in squares, but rather comes from all 8 directions toward the center of the house. The floor plans come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, big houses, small apartments. I'm not going to analyze them now, maybe some other time, but every space, no matter how large or small, can benefit from Feng Shui. The Bagua is one of the easiest tools you can use to analyze the floor plan and strengthen and uplift the energy of the sector that corresponds to an important aspect of your life. Hope you enjoyed this video and ready to implement some of this in your home. Or if you already work with the Bagua, whether you are below or above the equator, please share your experiences. I would love to hear them. Please remember to support this channel by liking and subscribing. Thank you and see you soon.